Welcome back. Recently, we've been considering our need to be thankful and grateful people, specifically to God. One of the greatest reasons for us to be thankful is the faithful loving kindness of Yahweh. In fact, we saw yesterday the word translated saint in Psalm 30 is the Hebrew word chasadim, which specifically refers to those who are the recipients of his faithful loving kindness. That God is always faithful. James chapter 1 verse 17, we're told, every good and perfect gift is from above and comes down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow of turning. God is, again, faithful. He is consistent. He is the same always. There is no shadow of turning in him. We're told the same thing about Jesus in the book of Hebrews. Chapter 13, verse 8 states, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. We're told by James that this very consistency of God is important because he is the giver of every good and perfect gift. But this verse doesn't stand apart by itself. It is in the context of some additional teaching that we're going to take some time to consider. I want to read beginning in James 1, verse 1, down through reading the context all the way down to verse 18. In order to see this verse now, this how God is the giver of every good and perfect gift, to look at it in its greater context. James 1, beginning verse 1. James, a bondservant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greetings. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. And if anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith, with no doubting. For he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. For let not that man suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. Let the lowly brother glory in his exaltation, but the rich in his humiliation, because as a flower of the field he will pass away. For no sooner has the sun risen with a burning heat than it withers the grass, its flowers fall, and its beautiful appearance perishes. So the rich man also will fade away in his pursuits. Blessed is the man who endures temptation, for when he has been approved, he will receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to those who love him. Let no one say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he himself tempt anyone. But each one is tempted when he is drawn away by his own desires and enticed. Then when desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, brings forth death. Do not be deceived, my beloved brethren. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and comes down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow of turning. Of his own will he brought us forth by the word of truth, that we might be a kind of firstfruits of his creatures. Did you note that the majority of the context dealt with our interaction with trials and temptations? For today, consider just the charge that we receive in verse 2. To consider it all joy when you fall into various trials. Why? Again, because God is the giver of every good and perfect gift. And this trial is allowed to be brought into your life for the testing of your faith, which then produces patience. We'll pick up this thought again tomorrow, Lord willing. But for today, I want to challenge you to remember that it is the will of God for you to rejoice always, pray without ceasing, and in everything to give thanks. That includes when we go through various trials, knowing that our God is the Father of lights, in whom there is no variation or shadow of turning, and is the giver of every good and perfect gift. He is faithful, and we are the recipients of his faithful, loving kindness. And whatever has gone through the sift of his love to us will be good and perfect. Give thanks today to the Father of lights, the giver of every good and perfect gift, and have a blessed day.